Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to this sohbet on Monday, the 30th of September 2024. Last week was Welcome Week, and we were welcoming a new intake of students at the University of Birmingham Multi-Faith Chaplaincy, and also at the university as a whole. We had a chaplaincy stall in the green heart of the university. It's like for those who don't know, it's like a lovely park in the center of the university campus. It's very nice, to be honest. Beautiful campus. And we had a stall, and we were informing people about the University of Birmingham's chaplaincy services. And we were also distributing. We were distributing books, free translations of the Manifest Quran, Shaykh al-Islam, Dr. Tahir-ul-Qadri, and free translations of the Bhagavad-Gita. And we managed to give out about 60 of each, approximately 60 of each, because I ordered about 80 of each, and I know roughly how many I've got left. So it's really quite wonderful to be able to give holy books out to people. Last year, we were giving out Bibles, some of which were New Testaments, some of which were whole Bibles, and we're also giving out Qurans to whoever wants them. We were not saying, okay, only Christians can take Bibles and Muslims can take Qurans. And no, I mean, we're making these scriptures available to whoever wants to take them, and not in a way that we want to push any particular religion, because we are a multi-faith chaplaincy. We're here to support all of the students and staff at the university. But I would like to give a big thanks to Minhaj Dawa and the Gita Project for providing us with so many free books that could actually distribute to students, staff, and visitors at the university. I mean, their generosity is greatly appreciated, and I'm sure everyone who has took those books would benefit from them. And this is the important thing. And there's different ways that people can benefit from Holy Scriptures. You see, if you are a Muslim and you have a copy of the Quran, this is for your own spiritual nourishment. You are a Muslim, you believe this is your book. If you don't have access to it, maybe when you're feeling down or going through difficulties, I mean, this can be very difficult for a Muslim. But equally so, if someone happens to be a Hindu, not having access to a copy of the Bhagavad Gita is the same to them as for a Muslim not having access to the Quran. Similarly, for a Christian not having access to a copy of the Holy Bible. So on the one hand, you have this nourishment that we have, this spiritual nourishment when you are of the faith and this is your central scripture. But we also had people who were studying to be RE teachers who took both books. And there are other people who took both books, even though they may have been Christian, Muslim, or Hindu, other faiths, Buddhist even. And why did they take those books? Probably for the same reason that I have a shelf full of Holy Scriptures of different religions, both here in my office at the chaplaincy and also at home. You see, if we read the scriptures of the other faiths, in addition to our own scripture, then it gives us an understanding of what other people believe. I don't have to be a Hindu or devotee of Krishna to read the Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, a person does not have to be a Muslim to read the Holy Quran. And if we read each of the scriptures, it's really fascinating because you start to see how much these scriptures have in common. Of course, they're unique. Of course, they have their differences. But they also have a lot of common ground. And if we understand where we share teachings between the different scriptures, then it can actually help bring people together of different faiths. It can help reduce tensions between people of different religions. So many times over the years, even since I've been a chaplain, but also long before that, I've had Muslims come to me and say that Christians believe this, or Hindus believe this. Sometimes they actually make statements that that's what Hindus believe, or that's what Christians believe. They haven't actually sat down with a Hindu or a Christian and asked them what they believe. Similarly, there are many people out there who will say things about Muslims. Muslims believe this. Muslims believe that. A very common one is people believe that Muslims, believe that we should make jihad on everyone. Not understanding the jihad as a much more nuanced meaning than what they think. And these students who are coming here to study at the university, to study for their degrees and their master's degrees and their PhDs, and put all the work into that, they're also doing a jihad. Because jihad means struggle or striving. And yes, it can mean fighting on the battlefield, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. So people have a lot of assumptions about what people of other religions believe. Sometimes people ask. I had a friend who's a taxi driver in Wolverhampton. He used to ask me, what do Christians believe? What do Hindus believe? But many people I met over the years, they make blanket statements of what entire groups of people of another religion believe. And the reality is, if you ask 10 Christians what they believe, you ask 10 Muslims what they believe, and you ask 10 Jews what they believe, or 10 Hindus, or 10 people of any different religion, you are going to get a variety of different answers. There will be some things which will be in common. Of course, I mean, if you ask a Muslim what they believe, then the vast majority of Muslims will tell you, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, that there's only one God and Muhammad is the messenger of God. Now, of course, if you ask many Christians what they believe, they will tell you things which are found in the Apostles' Creed. But beyond the obvious, I'm not meaning this because this is obvious. Beyond the obvious, there are many differences in what 10 Christians believe and how they live their faith, or what 10 Hindus believe and how they live their faith, or 10 Jews, or 10 Muslims, or 10 of anybody, of any religion. You look how many different denominations that each of these religions have got. And you do get the people within these religions who say that theirs is the only way and all the rest are wrong. But in reality, I mean, there's reasons why these denominations arose, why schools of thought, madhab, arose within Islam. There's reasons for it. And, it doesn't mean that, we can just make a blanket statement and say, well, they're wrong just because they follow something different. But you do get people like that in each of our faiths that say things like that. But the more rational of us realize that, everybody has something and, everybody has their understanding and there's reasons behind it. And also, people who are Christians will have certain things in common as according to what they believe. People who are Muslims will have certain things in common as to what they believe, and likewise with Hindus and Jews and other faiths. And also, there are certain things in common amongst all of these faiths, and there are differences. And we can learn from recognizing the similarities between all of our faiths, and we can also learn from the differences too. Sometimes it's good to look at someone who approaches things a bit different because it makes you think. It makes you think and encourages you to reflect. And thinking and reflection are highly encouraged in every single person, whatever faith you have. They're actually highly encouraged in the Quran itself. So I hope these points of reflection are something which gives you some pause for thought. And if you haven't already, then I do encourage you to read the scriptures And I know I've met some Muslims and they say, well, I haven't really read the Quran properly yet. That may be a bit of a sticking point. But the thing is, it's like, that's something to work on. And I mean, if you're a Muslim and you don't read the Quran, then that's something to focus on as well. But don't just look at the Quran, look at other books as well. And if you're of another faith, have a look at the Quran and have a look at other scriptures too, because you'll be amazed at what you learn. May Allah bless you all, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May the peace and blessings of God be with you all. I look forward to seeing you later in the week for my Friday reflections. Until then, have a very good and blessed week. And may Allah bless you all, and may Allah bless all our staff and all the new students who are joining us this year, as well as returning students. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.